If everyone can, please stand for the saying of our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated, and I will pass it off to our Madam President, Ms. Claire Humbutel.
Thank you, Duran. And I want to welcome all of you to another meeting of Miami-Dade Toastmasters. And without further ado, let's get this meeting started. I'm going to hand the floor over to our Toastmaster, Catherine.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Welcome to our Miami-Dade Toastmaster meeting. Today's theme is Women Who Lead, a celebration of powerful women in leadership and communication. I'll talk a little bit about leadership for women. Leadership is not just about titles. It's about courage, influence, and using your voice to create change, inspire growth, and open doors for others. Throughout history, women's leaders have shaped industries, movements, communities, and conversations, often overcoming barriers while doing so. But leadership doesn't happen on a global stages. It happens in meeting rooms, classrooms, homes, nonprofits, startups, and yes, right here in our Toastmasters Club. Today, we spotlight the strength, resilience, clarity, and compassion that define strong leadership communication. As you participate in today's meeting, I encourage you to think about the leaders who inspired you, the leadership qualities you're developing, and the impact your voice can have. Because when women lead with confidence and clarity, everyone rises. Let's get started. To officially begin, we're going to do the introductions in the chat this time. We have a full agenda with 2 speakers and table topics. So please put your name in the chat, what you do for a living, your job, and who is a woman leader that has influenced you and why. Okay. Now we're going to move to our general evaluator, Adolfo, and Adolfo will be introducing his team. Adolfo?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much to everyone for allowing me to be your general evaluator of the day. My name is Adolfo Sirias, and I will introduce my team of assistants to help me out with the evaluation section of our meeting. Let's kick it off with our timer and voter, Rosaline. Rosaline, can you elaborate on your role?
Sorry, I need to update that. I'm not the timer. The timer is...
Yeah, John is the timer.
Sorry, let me update my titles from last time.
Greeting Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster, and guests. As timer, I will time the table topic, speaker, formal speech, and evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards. We denote specific times remaining. Tablet topic speaker should limit their remain to no more 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise the green card. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. At 2 minutes, I will raise the red card. Icebreaker speech should be 5-6 minutes in length. At 4 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 5 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. At 6 minutes, I will raise the red card. More of the speech should be 5-7 minutes of the length. At 5 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 6 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. At 7 minutes, I will raise the red card. For evaluator, I will raise for individual evaluator should be between 2-3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. And 3 minutes, I will raise the red card. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so
Oh,
much, John. Appreciate you. And do me a favor, if you may just double check that each of your cards are working, that would be really appreciated. Thank you so much for taking the role for the first time, by the way, John. Let me move on to my evaluator of the day for the speeches. I will have Claire, if you may, Claire.
Yes, so as the first evaluator, I will be evaluating Jenna Knowles' speech for grammar, for timing, and for clarity and the construction of the speech itself. And when I am called upon to speak towards the end of the meeting, I will give that evaluation, I believe, in about a time of 2 to 3 minutes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Alex, go ahead and take it away as our accounter for the day.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. As the odd counter, I will be listening to what the speaker says and marking down on any chart inappropriate words or sounds used as space filler. Space fillers can be words such as and, well, but, so, and, you know. Inappropriate sounds may be or I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase, such as I, or this means. And at the end of the meeting, I'll provide my report. Back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Alex. Let's move on to our grammarian, Hattie.
Thank you, General Evaluator. It is my responsibility as a grammarian to pay close attention to all the speakers, listening carefully to their language used. I will take note of any improper language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, saying, or thoughts. As a grammarian, it's also my responsibility to introduce the word of the day, which is trailblazer, which means a pioneer, someone who leads the way. An example of using the word is my mom was a true trailblazer in my life. So I will encourage all the speakers to use the word of the day, and that's all for me. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hattie. Appreciate that. Briefly, if you want to take the chance to introduce yourself, what you're doing, Maria. I know you're evaluator number 2.
Yes, I will be evaluating Vika's speech, and she's doing her speech is understanding your communication style. So I'll be looking for the purpose of the project and giving my evaluation when called upon.
Fantastic. And obviously, last but not least, Rosaline, tell us as a boat master, what is it that you're doing?
So yes, as a vote counter, everyone will be sending to me the best table topics of your choice, best background, best speech, and also best evaluator. Back to you.
Awesome. 4 votes. Remember to keep an eye out and keep your ears open for everything that we're going to be discussing in today's meeting. So as your general evaluator, I will be evaluating the meeting, the flow of it, how each person in their roles performs. And I already committed a bunch of counter errors. So thank you so much. I will give you my feedback at the end of the meeting, and I'll give it back to our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Adolfo, for introducing all your functionaries. That was wonderful. And now we will turn to Hattie for Inspirational Facts Minute.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Give me a minute. Okay. Good afternoon, Madam Toastmaster, fellow members, and honored guests. When we think about powerful leaders, we often imagine presidents, CEOs, and famous activists. But here is a powerful fact. For most of us, the first trailblazer we ever followed was our mother. Research from Harvard Center on the Developing Child shows that the guidance we receive from the mothers in early childhood helps shape confidence, resilience, and the ability to face challenges, some of the most essential qualities of leadership. Mothers lead every single day. They solve problems. They navigate uncertainty. They carry responsibility. And they inspire others to become their very best. In many ways, they are trailblazers, creating paths where none existed before. And today, I will especially like to my mom, 3 children in her own while building her professional career. She worked tireless, sacrificed endlessly, and through her example, she shaped us into good human beings and professionals. She may not have held a public office or run a corporation, but she led something even more powerful. She built a family. She shaped 3 futures. And she proved that someone of the greatest trailblazers in the world carry a title that simply says mom. Back to you, Madame Toastmaster.
Thank you, Hattie. That was wonderful. And our moms are true trailblazers with their title of just mom. I almost forgot to welcome our guests here today. Besides our guest speakers, I wanted to welcome Ashley and Paulette and just explain briefly our meeting. We just ended our inspirational minute, and we will hear from our 2 wonderful guest speakers. And then we will have a little impromptu speaking. It's called Table Topics. And then we will have some friendly evaluation of the speakers. And then we will have some reports on timing, on the evaluations and whatnot. And then the meeting will end. Thank you. Our first speaker is Jenna Knowles. Her speech title is She Rises. Jenna Knowles truly embodies leadership, resilience, and the power of finding your voice. For our timer, her speech is 5 to 7 minutes. She has an inspiring journey in Toastmasters, serving in several leadership roles, including secretary, vice president of education, president, and immediate past president of her club. During her presidency, she and her executive team successfully led the club to President's Distinguished status, the highest recognition a Toastmasters club can achieve. 1 second. Sorry. Her commitment to service did not stop there. She currently serves as an area director in District 6, where she supports multiple clubs, encourages member growth, and helps strengthen the Toastmasters mission of building better communicators and leaders. Beyond Toastmasters, she is the founder of the Sophisticated Office, a documentation company, and she is passionate about personal development, leadership, and empowering others to speak with confidence and purpose. Please join me in giving a warm Toastmasters welcome to Jenna Knowles.
Today, we celebrate Women's History Month, a time when we pause to recognize the courage, brilliance, and resilience of women who shaped the world. But I want to start with a simple truth. History was not only written by famous women in textbooks, history was written by women who refused to give up, women who believed in themselves when no one else did, women who stood up when it would have been easier to sit down. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Women like Rosa Parks. In 1955, she made a decision that changed history. She refused to give up her seat on a bus. Some people say she was tired, but she later explained something powerful. She was not tired physically. She was tired of giving in. That moment reminds us that sometimes history begins with a simple decision: no more. Women like Maya Angelou, who once said, "Still, I rise." Despite racism, hardship, and trauma, she found her voice and used it to inspire millions. Women like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who fought tirelessly for gender equality in the law. Women like Serena Williams, who stepped onto tennis courts and showed the world that strength, determination, and excellence has no gender. Women like Oprah Winfrey, who rose from poverty to become one of the most influential voices in media. And women like Michelle Obama, who reminded young girls everywhere that their voice matters, their dreams matter, and their presence matters. These women changed the world. But here is something we often forget. They did not start out as legends. They started as women with dreams, with fears, women who were told they were not enough. And yet, they moved forward anyway. Now, I want to ask you something. How many women in this virtual room have ever been underestimated? Maybe someone looked at you and assumed you were not capable. Maybe someone questioned your intelligence. Maybe someone doubted your ambition. Many of us have experienced that moment. But here is what I have learned. When someone underestimates a woman, they are not revealing her limits. They are revealing their imagination. Because when a woman truly believes in herself, something powerful happens. She's unstoppable. She becomes the woman who starts the business, the woman who goes back to school, the woman who raises strong children, the woman who stands up in a room and speaks with confidence, the woman who refuses to shrink herself just to make others comfortable. And sometimes that woman makes people uncomfortable. But that's okay, because progress has always made people uncomfortable. If women throughout history had waited for everyone to be comfortable, we would not have the rights, the opportunities, and voices we have today. Women like Malala Yousafzai, who stood up for girls' education when it put her life in danger. Women like Kamala Harris, who shattered barriers in leadership and politics. Every generation of women pushes the door open a little wider. And today, it's our turn. Because the truth is this: women's history is not only about the past, women's history is being written right now. It is written by the woman studying late at night. It is written by the woman rebuilding her life after setbacks. It is written by the woman who dares to dream bigger than her circumstances. And it is written by the woman who refuses to give up. But maybe one day, years from now, someone will talk about the women in this virtual room. They will talk about the women who led with courage, the women who lifted others up, the women who believed in themselves when the world doubted them. And maybe, just maybe, they will say your name. Because history is not only written by famous women, history is written by women who choose courage, women who choose integrity, women who choose to rise. So during this Women's History Month, I encourage every woman here to remember something powerful. Your voice matters, your dreams matter, your story matters, and the world is waiting to see you rise. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Wow, that was a wonderful speech. Let's give some emojis for Jenna. That was just unbelievable. I like how you started with Rosa, segued to Maya, Ruth, Serena, Michelle, Kamala, just everyone. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who we always call RBG. That was just, I was taking notes too. That was very inspirational. And now we have our second speaker, Vika Rudneva. She's our guest Toastmaster. She's working on her presentation mastery path, level 2, understanding your communication style. Her speech will be 5 to 7 minutes. Timer, are you ready? Actually, I'm going to still introduce Vika, but you're ready? Okay, great. Her speech title is Ask These Questions Before It's Too Late. Vika is an international communications and leadership professional with over 20 years experience in communications, public relations, social media strategy, and leadership development. She has been a Toastmasters member since 2023. Vika has served as Vice President of Public Relations in multiple clubs and currently serves as Club President in Universal Toastmasters, and she is a tag team member in District 47. For those of you who don't know, tag team members volunteer to help out at other clubs, whether giving speeches or acting as a functionary, like timers or counters, whatnot. Vika today believes that sometimes it takes just 2 simple questions to turn a conversation around. Questions that clarify, reconnect, and even prevent conflict before it begins. Please join me in welcoming Vika with her speech. Ask these questions before it's too late. Vika.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests. Did you have a situation in your life, at least once, when you was trying to motivate a person, but it didn't work? You was trying to have a brainstorming and give a piece of advice, but it did not work. And it seemed like all the conversation was going nowhere, and maybe even crisis in relations started, or maybe conflict. Just raise your hand if it happened to you. Yeah, thank you so much. And you know what? And I had these situations also, and I got them sometimes. Still, I've got them sometimes. However, something changed. Situation is changed and became softer when I found out, thanks to Toastmaster, that there are 4 different communication styles. And that it helped me so much. And with time, I started to implement this style or that style. Sometimes I was given a piece of motivation, sometimes just supporting a person, sometimes I started giving a piece of advice. So everything was nice and beautiful. However, suddenly I started having cases when motivation didn't work. My piece of advice didn't work. Just person was more and more angry, becoming more and more angry. This is what was happening to this or that person. And after it happened to me a couple of times, I realized that something didn't work. No, so piece of advice didn't work, motivation didn't work, analysis didn't work, nothing. Then I told myself, okay, if it doesn't work, it does not work. I have to investigate this. I have to find something different. And you know what? I found the solution. I found out that it is trap when person is mixing emotions and facts. And just everything what is possible to do in such cases is is asking two questions to person in such, let's say, condition, yeah? And the first question is, what do you feel? No, not how do you feel, exactly what do you feel? So in this case, it's very important that another person to identify own emotion or maybe emotions. So this is not that we are guessing about emotions of this person, but give possibility to this person to do it by herself or himself. And maybe this person will tell something like, oh, I'm so angry. This taxes administration is just making me so angry. Again, I received this letter, in mail. So I'm so angry. I wanna do something, but just I'm very angry. Or again, changes on base camp. Again, changes again. I've got more things to do. I don't know what to do. I feel hopeless, and I don't have an idea about my next steps. Okay, so in this case, we see that it's possible to help another person identify emotion and the source of this emotion. And here comes the second question. And the second question is the next one. Okay, and what are you going to do? So we are stimulating another person to think about real actions, about solutions. And maybe this person would say something like, I have to contact my bookkeeper. I don't know. I don't understand what is going on with this taxes administration. I don't have a clue. I just will call to my bookkeeper. Or, no, I just don't understand what I have to do right here, right now. As the system is new, Basecamp is new. I cannot find right buttons. And I will call to Maria Lozano. She's Basecamp co-chair, so she knows. I will call her. I will ask my questions. So in this case, you will help this person to set real action, and it will sound like a plan. So, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, what do you feel, and what are you going to do? These two questions will help to put emotions and actions in their proper boxes and stop just mixing everything, and it will help this person to separate these two issues and start thinking, first of all, to accept all conditions or to accept all emotions, and at the same time, build a plan, at least the first step. And when I started doing this, and I started asking these two simple questions, some miracles happened. Miracles happened to me and to the other people to whom I was talking, so fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. I encourage you next time, if you see that everything is mixed, that issues are and conversation is so complicated that you don't know where it goes, I encourage you to ask these two questions. Maybe this is exactly the case that you are also in such trap of communication, and this combination of two communications styles will help you to find the solution. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Vika. Let's give her some nice reactions, emojis. That was a wonderful speech on emotions, actions, the two questions. I will not start giving an evaluation because I know your evaluator, Maria, will kill me. But she'll give you your evaluation. In the chat, our guests, Paulette and Ashley Edwards, please send your contact information to Maria Lozano directly in the chat if you haven't already. And now we will move to the next segment of our meeting, which I was explaining, the impromptu speaking or table topics. And our Vice President of Education, Ashley, will go ahead with the table topics. Ashley?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Dade, and hello, everyone. We made it to the fun part. I have some wonderful questions that I know that this would be a very interesting table topic session. All right, I'm going to say the question first, and then I'll call on somebody. What is the one stereotype what is the one stereotype about women you wish that would disappear? What is the one stereotype about women that you wish would disappear? And I shall give this to, let's see. I guess I'm gonna ask that I know who are Toastmasters. Let's see. What about Shaw? I see you're hiding.
That's the hardest question in the world. Why you give me that question? Okay, fine. I'll be happy. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters, and fellow guests. I am a guest as well, a visiting guest. There's so many challenges that women have when it comes to perception, when it comes to understanding and what's supposed to be inherently understood, when it comes to women, no matter which culture they come from, no matter which nation they come from. But I have experienced bad food. Not everyone who's been in a home where the culture and the mother and the father know how to cook, and then you get that dish that you're so ready to have. Maybe it's jollof rice, maybe it's jus colle for some of you that might know these dishes. And you take that one scoop of rice and you plant it in your mouth, and then you want to plant it in the ground because they didn't put the seasoning on it. This is why in the trunk of every car I ever had, there's a bag with seasoning. Because I will take every necessary precaution, whether I go to someone's house or I go to a restaurant and I put my quality mouth on that food, and there is not the essence of proper seasoning. So if it is believed that all women can cook, I'm here to dismantle that thought process. By show of hands, how many people here can cook? Okay, good. I'm coming over to everyone's house and I'm going to be taking testimonials. Okay? So listen, I don't believe you, so make the best dish you can and I will come over to see and validate that cooking. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much, Shaw. I really love that. All right, next question. Let's see. What does gender equality mean to you personally? What does gender equality mean to you personally? All right, and I'm going to invite our guests to participate. If they don't, please let us know. Well, if you don't want to participate, please let us know. All right, I'm going to call on, how about Ashley? Ashley, you available? Okay, if not, I'm going to move on to, okay, oh, Tiffany won't be available to participate. Okay. All right, what about Paulette? Paulette, I know they walked away. I'm not sure if you could hear me. Okay, let's move on. What about Christian?
Hi, good afternoon. May you repeat the question, please?
Oh, yes, of course. What does gender equality mean to you personally?
Thank you so much for the question, Madam Table Topics Master. Gender equality means to me giving each individual the individual right, or rather, giving them the equal opportunity. Oftentimes, whenever someone steps into the plate, before they even take or they get the opportunity to actually participate in whatever activity it may be, a lot of our stereotypes and biases tend to show up. And we see this a lot with women. Before she is able to even take part in a board meeting or conduct something along those lines, persons are questioning her ability. And it would be nice if you can just step into a room, step into a role or a title, and not be judged by something that you were born with. Just like your skin, just like where you grew up, whether it's your culture or it's your background in regard to the way that you may speak or what you choose to eat. It would be nice if you weren't judged by that, but you were judged by your deeds and your actions. Thank you so much for that question.
Christian, that was very powerful. I love it. Thank you so much. Okay, I think I have time for one more. Okay, how can workplaces better support women leaders? How can workplaces better support women leaders or women in general? Okay, and I'm going to give this to Paulette if you want to participate. Oh, we're having trouble hearing you. Yeah, we still can't hear you, Paulette. Yeah, I'm sorry, we're still having trouble hearing you. Okay, yeah, everyone else has a role. Wow. Okay, anybody that want to take the question? Okay, Rosaline.
For me, I think that for what is it? Just repeat the question one more time again.
Oh, okay. How can workplaces better support women or women leaders?
How can workplace better support women leaders? Definitely think that women should have the same opportunities as men, as far as promotions, equal pay, the ability to, let's see, I have a certain thought, equal pay, better leadership, promotions, women, more flexibility with women, especially have children as well. I'm trying to help this way out the window, sorry.
Yeah, you could use yourself as an example too.
For me, for example, I've had situations where I get bypassed because of, being an African woman. Sometimes some hotels, well, my previous positions, I had to fight more to show I was capable of doing the roles. It took a while for me to be in the position I am. So having the ability to trust a woman can also do the same job as a man in our industry is something that we try for, equal opportunities. I would say, like I said, same thing, growth, development, the opportunities, that the same thing that men would get in position wise. I think in the workplace has improved a lot in the last few years, and hopefully it continues to do so. But those are some other things. No bias as well, and their policies, support networks, like creating leadership groups for women and so forth. I'm sorry. My train of thought went out the window.
It's okay, Rosaline, and yeah, Maria, I thank you so much for doing that. I wouldn't. I was gonna give her like a visual warning, but thank you so much. All right, and that concludes my session as a topics master. Thank you all for having me, and I'm gonna turn this over to our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Ashley. And those topics were directly on point for today's theme. Please vote for your best background. Send it individually to Rosaline. Click on the new chat, find her name from the drop down. Besides best background, please vote on best speaker, Jenna, Jenna's topic was She Rises. Vika was asked these questions before it's too late. Please vote third on the best table topic. Shy had what is the one stereotype about women that you wish would disappear? Christian had what does gender equality mean to you personally? Rosaline had how can workplaces better support women leaders or women in general? Or I had or women leaders. Please send to Rosaline your votes for those three separate areas. And now we will go to our general evaluator, Adolfo, to get the reports from his team. Adolfo?
Absolutely. Let's kick it off with the coolest part of the meeting, not table topics. Okay. Let's go and get feedback from each of the sections. Let's kick it off with our evaluator number one. That will be Claire for the speech from Jenna. Take it away, Claire.
Thank you, Adolfo. First off, Jenna, I really liked your speech. It was a great example of a good start, a good middle, and a good ending. You had so many inspiring examples, and you also worked at engaging the audience and keeping a good tone of voice throughout that helped to hold our attention, uh, while encouraging us to further do our research and find out more about these inspiring women that you named. As far as things you can work on, that's a bit tricky, but I did notice one thing, in part, I think, caused by this being a video meeting. Sometimes when you spoke, I could see the top of your hand for a little bit. I could see that you were trying to make a particular gesture, but you weren't quite in view of the camera. So I would say one thing you can work on, gestures can also help enhance your speech and help to, well, you've already got it to be inspiring and engaging. This can help just push it a little bit further. And also with that, you could try standing up to be better visible. You can also try repositioning the camera so that we can better see you and your body language as well as your speech. But other than that, I don't really have anything else to bring up that you could work on. Once again, I quite liked your speech, and I will be definitely looking into some of those names you mentioned to find out more. Thank you.
Sorry, I got distracted. That was a good evaluation, and I hope that Jenna can take a lot of the gems and golden nuggets from there. Let's move on to our evaluator number two, Maria Lozano.
Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator. Vika, thank you so much for coming on such short notice and just showering us with this great speech that you did today. Amazing how your facial and hand gestures, we were able to see those even though we are in a little square here or rectangular. We were able to see your hand gestures, which was good. And I like the fact that you involved the audience from the beginning with a question. Also, your speech was about two questions in particular. What do you feel? And what are you going to do? And during that process where you were talking about how do you feel, you talked about taxes and frustration with base camp. I'm there. I totally there with you. Totally understand the frustration. And we could see that sort of frustration in your facial expressions, which accounted for a lot of the additional language that you wanted to bring out. So it just showed on your face. What you may want to work on. I think in the beginning, the first question that you had, you said, did you have a situation in your life to motivate someone? I would have said, do you have, or have you ever had? So there are just a little grammatical things to look at. And you made reference to taxes, which is really universal. However, you made reference to base camp, which is not universal. If you're not a Toastmaster, you don't know. And we have some guests, so I would suggest to make this speech a lot better that you make it more international, giving another. Maybe it's traffic in Miami or traffic in your area that is universal that you know people can relate to. That's something that I would do. And then your clarity didn't come out so clear because you used a lot of facial expression. But then again, that also helped to tell your story. Now, where I would like you to challenge, I would want you to challenge yourself is just include a little bit in this speech, include a little bit about the quiz that you took at the beginning of the project, because that quiz is really instrumental in telling us what is your communication styles and how you kind of came up with this speech, and then it just kind of ties it all in. But overall, I think that your vocal variety was amazing, your eye contact, your gestures, audience awareness, obviously, comfort level, it was an interesting topic, and so on. And I want to thank you so much for visiting Miami-Dade Toastmasters. Thank you, and back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Awesome. All right, Vika, there's a lot to work on there. Same thing for Jenna. I always get excited when I hear good evaluations because again, that's the foundational stone of where you can improve and take things to the next level on the next presentation you do here at Toastmasters or anywhere where you go and do a presentation. And so to move forward, I'll give it now to Alex, our accounter of the day. Give us a report.
Okay, thank you. So Jenna, I did not see any space fillers that she said or any inappropriate sounds. So Jenna did a pretty flawless speech. And Vika, there was just a few space fillers. Ah and were the most common. She said ah 2 times and one time. And then the thing that I did see a few times throughout the speech were words being repeated. She did say things like, I got sometimes a few times, and she said, I found is, it will sound, and issues are. She repeated those words a few times. Those are the ones that I was able to hear. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alex. I appreciate that. And always, I keep an eye out for what I'm saying now more than ever. So I'll move on to our grammarian of the day with the word of the day, trailblazer. I didn't get to use it, but I'm sure I heard a few people. So how do you take it away?
Hello, everyone, and I just want to extend my apologies. I had a lot of technical difficulties and got disconnected from the meeting a couple times. So I imagine you all did it fantastic. I just heard a little bit of the second speech, but couldn't really listen none of the participation. My truly apologies. I will try to do it soon in another meeting, but I got kicked out a couple times and got interrupted. So back to you, General Evaluator.
All good, no sweat. Appreciate that, Hattie. Hopefully next time we get to fix the internet. That happens to the best of us. So I'll give it to John for the time report. Go ahead, John. Take it away.
Hi, this is my master. This is my time report. So for speaker number one, Jana, she completed in 6 minutes 8 seconds. For speaker number two, Vika, she completed in 6 minutes 50 seconds. For tablet topics, question number one is complete in 2 minutes 0.08 seconds. For question number two, we had complete in 1 minute 25 seconds. And for question number three, was complete in 2 minutes 18 seconds. For evaluator number one, it was complete in 2 minutes 05. And for evaluator number 2 was complete in 3 minutes 04. That's my report, Toastmaster.
Awesome. Thank you so much, John. And again, one more time, a round of applause for John for taking the role for the first time ever. Thank you so much, John. And last but not least, let's go on to our vote master. Do we have a vote?
Yes, I was gonna wait to get a few more of the evaluators, but I guess I can go ahead and
Vote now, vote now, vote now.
Let me see if I got any more in. Don't see any more in.
Excuse me, how do we vote again? Who do we send it to?
Send it
To
to
me,
Rose
Rosaline.
Who?
in private. Rosaline.
Rosaline.
Rosaline. Okay, yeah. You guys don't have the poll. You don't have the poll thing going on. I hope y'all set it up if you want.
I'm gonna leave the evaluator last in case I get pop-ups. For the best, well, table topics was a tie between Sean and Christian.
Let's leave it then. I'm good.
And then the best favorite vote for speech is Jenna. Background was me. And then for the evaluators, since no one else has sent anything in, Maria, back to you.
Awesome. Great stuff. Thank you so much to each and every one of my auxiliary roles and my executives for allowing me to be your general evaluator today. I'm looking forward to serving in another capacity in the next meeting, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. But today, I have to say that we had a good flow of the meeting. Everyone stepped up, and even I love when the accountant and grammarian are the same person, but seeing the dynamic of having two different individuals taking on that role, it's pretty cool too. Um, I guess next time we can always integrate it in helping one another on that end just for the sake of the technical error there that happened. I'll be sharper also on the general evaluator side of things to be able to hear out and fill in some of the gaps, some of the feedback on the my end. I think you know what Shah just said about using the poll. It's great. We just have to get better at using Zoom. We haven't gotten to that point yet, but thank you for that feedback. Other than that, the speech went smoothly. Everyone got a chance to participate. The ones who didn't want to participate, I encourage you highly to come in ready to just even speak for 1 minute so you can break that shell. And the next time you can deliver a speech and you can get that feedback and continue to improve as a professional speaker and take things to the next level in whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish as a public speaker here. I don't have much more to say other than that. I'll give the floor to our VP, Ashley, and take it away. Thank you.
Thank you, Adolfo. Yeah, we only have like 5 minutes. I'm just going to be quick to remind everybody that we are opening our officers meeting, which is on Monday nights at 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. We definitely need new officers for the next Toastmaster year. So if you're interested, please let me know. Our election, I posted on the chat, the flyer. Our election is going to be on May 27th. Yeah, our club election for our next officers. And I'm gonna hand this over to our Toastmaster of the day or our president.
Yeah. Oh, really quick. I just wanted to say thank you for letting me be your Toastmaster of the day. It was a nice honor and it was a great meeting. I'll turn it over to our president, Claire.
Thank you, Catherine and Ashley. To start with, I would like to ask our guests, looking in here, I'd like to ask Paulette her opinion of the meeting. Just if you have maybe one or two sentences of evaluation you could give us.
Am I the only guest?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, now we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon. It's almost afternoon. I'm a guest. I'm not a Toastmaster as yet. I enjoyed the meeting. This isn't my first time sitting in on any of the meetings. I enjoyed the meeting. I think there's a lot of things could have been presented better, save for the difficulties with the transmission. So I hope things wouldn't be based on, I hope presentations future presentations would not be based on the Wi-Fi weakness or that causes transmission weakness. I enjoyed listening. I would have liked to be able to answer that question that was asked of me, but again, Wi-Fi difficulty. Um, I support ladies, and one of the things I want to say regarding to the support in the workplace in these few minutes is that, first of all, our support starts with each other. When you go into a workplace, sometimes most of the daggers are coming from women. So I think if we build a strong support of each other first, then others will follow suit because they won't have any other choice if you united. And that's what I wanted to say. Thank you so much for allowing me.
Well, thank you. And that is definitely a good thing to remember. And we are now about a minute from the end of the meeting, so I'm just going to hurry and give our announcements. Let me see here. Just for all of you, if you're interested in becoming a member, don't hesitate to get in touch with our Vice President of Membership, Mercedes, or our Vice President of Public Relations, which is Maria. Let's see. For our members, please continue your Pathways lessons. If you are having any issues with Pathways, there are office hours with Ashley, our Vice President of Education, at 8 p.m. on Thursdays. Let's see. Also, if you're interested in seeing some examples of top-level speakers, there is the Division E speech contest on the 21st, starting at 1 p.m. in Pinecrest Library. I believe that's all I have for now. So I wish you all well and hope to see you again next meeting.
Can we pose for a picture?
Oh, pose for
yes,
picture.
certainly.
We
Hang
didn't hear
on.
from Ashley Edwards. I don't know if she can speak. Ashley?
Ashley.
Hi, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
What did you think of the meeting? Just tell us quickly if you can.
I did. I enjoyed the meeting. I like that everyone is able to speak and then you get critique and feedback. This is my first time on Toastmasters. I was invited, but I enjoyed the meeting.
Awesome. Are you able to stay a few seconds later? So that and we can answer any question. Paula at 2, I'm available. Just want to say that. And Madam President, if you want to close out the meeting for everyone else.
Yes, and now I officially adjourn the meeting.